because they were working on him and trying to clean him up some. Uh, and they called us into the interview room to let us know exactly what had happened. They had took x-rays, not x-rays, CAT scan of the brain. They had the scan on the machine, and it showed the entry point of the bullet and where the bullet was laying and the path that the bullet took through his brain. And they had said then that basically a wound of that nature is a fatal wound. They had him on life support, and we wanted to see our child, and they were like, well, we haven't done this, we haven't done that. Look, you know, I don't care what you haven't done, I need to see my baby right now.
Okay.
And they let me and the mother go in. We seen him. And at that particular point in time, the mother broke down. She had a real serious asthma attack.
And you know, I don't have any kids of my own. I couldn't imagine what that would feel like. You know, if it felt like when I got that phone call from, because Damien was sick that Thursday. No, it was the 23rd. Yeah, it was a Thursday. And I went to the house, went by his house and see him, and his daughter came and said, no, he's not feeling well. And I got to work that morning, they said that he got a phone call. Damien's dead. I'm like, wow, you gotta be kidding me. But to lose a son in that nature, that's not involved in gangs, how has that changed your thinking?
Well, let me say that 3 weeks prior to me losing my son, I was asked by a church member to preach a funeral of her nephew who was gunned down out north, Stockton here. And I had to preach that funeral. And even then, even not having gone through this thing, I put myself in the family's shoes. And it's a hard, tragic state, you know. But it prepared me for what had happened to me recently here with my baby. And my thought process in seeing this happen to my child is just purely the knowledge of knowing that it was senseless. And you're not, the streets are just not safe like they used to be. You're not safe anymore, you know. I mean, people from your own neighborhood is killing people right there in the same neighborhood, you know, but I do want to say that I'm angry, you know, which is rightfully so. I mean, I'm human. Because I'm a minister does not set me above any standards. You know, I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm lost. Because a part of me, that was a part of me that's taken from me at a very early age. You know, I'm a true believer, you know, I shouldn't be burying my kids should be burying me. But
how many kids do you have?
Well, with him it was 13. I count his two brothers by his mother because I was married to her. They were my stepkids, and you know, I love them just as well, you know, and they recognize me still and yet today as their stepfather, you know, and they respect me in the same manner. And
the impact that I realized that what happened, on how the school just showed you their love. Didn't you speak at a basketball game the next Friday?
Yes,
That
yes.
Friday.
They didn't. Well, Thursday night they did a CAP scan. Well, not a CAP scan, but I guess you would call it a brain test to see if his brain was functioning.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, his brain wasn't functioning. And so they had told us that at that time he was considered to be brain dead.
Okay.
But they could not give us any any conclusive report until they did a second scan, which had to be done by a different physician. And that Friday afternoon around 2:05, they called the family back in and told us what they did and told us that his brain failed all the tests. They said if his brain would have passed just one or possibly two of the tests, they could have left him on the ventilator and had hope